if you haven't heard of this book yet or read it, then you're missing out. And I'm gonna go take my takeaways from it. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. It's not a friggin' novel, but the book is called Letting Go by David Hawkins. Now, I'll share with you why this was an important book for me in 2022. I was going through a lot. I was processing a lot emotionally, spiritually, feeling a little bit lost. This book teaches you how to surrender, and that it did. Surrender is one of those concepts as men that's a scary concept. Oh, surrender, doesn't that kind of mean quitting? And I'm a guy, I don't quit. No, go surrender. You can surrender to a lot of things in life. Surrendering is more about the process of letting go. It's detachment, letting go of control. So many of us guys, we love to be in control all the freaking time. I personally love it. I love feeling in control of my life, control of my fate, my destiny, control of my day, control of my freedom, all of these things. However, I can want and be in control as much as I think I can, while also surrendering to many things. I can surrender to my current circumstances. I can surrender to my current belief system. I can surrender to a creator that put me here. Like I can surrender to these things. So, the book, the reason it's so powerful is I didn't know which direction to go, and I was putting so much pressure on my purpose, what am I doing here? Why can't I just have it all figured out? I have so many things that are going well for me, but why am I still unfulfilled or unhappy? All these things. And what it comes down to is I was just so attached to desire. And Buddhism talks about desire is like suffering, right? That's why they tell you to get rid of everything. The monks just go and live in Tibet and they just meditate all day, right? Or they're doing crazy kung fu, panda yoga, whatever they're doing up there. But the more that you can surrender, the more that I notice I can receive. The more that I can surrender, the more I can receive. Because if I'm just so attached to things, especially in sales, if you guys are in business or even your relationships with girls and stuff, women, your partner, the more you're attached to things, the less you actually get what you want. Because attachment is a needy energy. It's if you get attached to the sale, they can kind of feel it off you. It's nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. But if you surrender and you're just hey, I'm gonna do my best to serve this person. I'm gonna do my best to give my heart to this person, or open up to them. And if they don't see value in me, if they don't see value in my service, and they reject me, then ultimately that's on them. I'm only in control of what I control. I can't. You can do things, you can manipulate, you can do all sorts of things to try and control the situation. But at the end of the day, you can only control what you think you can control. And even then, you're not really in control of it. It's like controlception. So if you are willing to let go, what happens when you let go? Your hands are open. You can start to receive. But if you're hanging on to things oh no, I can't lose this girl, or oh no, I can't lose this job, or I can't lose this client. It's well, what if there's a bigger client right here, you just can't see it yet, and your hands are shut, right? You're hanging on. You let go, there's room for more. And what I've noticed is when I've let go to hard things that are were difficult for me to relinquish, almost always something better. I've made room for something better. And so I made this video one time a few years ago. It was posted on my Instagram, and it's a question. It was a question posed to my people. And can I let go of the good to make room for the great? We're always talking about, just let it go. Somebody hurts you, let it go, forgive them. So I'm cool. That sounds like kumbaya stuff. But can you let go if somebody cuts you off in traffic and you don't flip them off, or whatever? Can you let that go? What about when somebody really hurts you, right? What if you get betrayed? A little bit harder to let go. What I challenge people is what can you let go of the good? How attached to you are to the good right now? And a lot of us, when we get good, right? Because let's say 60 or 70 or even 80% or 90% of our reality is perceived as bad things that happen. We're not catching any breaks. When we get that 10%, we never want to let go of it, right? You get that spark of joy, They're like, oh man, this is what living's about, whatever. Can you let go of that? Most people aren't even conscious to think about that. They're like so attached to it, and then what happens? They find themselves in a rut because all of a sudden that thing goes away, that 10% fleeting joy, and they feel like they're lost again. So when things are going really good, I try and ask myself just consciously, it's like, this is great. Can I enjoy the moment? Can I accept it? Can I accept all the blessings? And can I let go of it? Can I be unattached to it? Because inevitably shit's gonna hit the fan and stuff's gonna happen at some point. That's the spice of life. That's what happens. But can I let go of it? It doesn't mean you have to throw it down and self-sabotage it. It just means, can I energetically release and make room for it to get even better? Simple question, super powerful. And what I've noticed is, you get one blessing, you can actually get something even more powerful. But if you're so focused on, trying to hang on to it, then you might not get that blessing. The universe might say, this guy is too busy, he doesn't want anymore. He's all caught up. So that's the power of letting go, power of surrender. Really, really powerful concept. So if you haven't read that book, I highly encourage you to do it. It talks about so many really interesting topics. Like, there's different levels you can vibrate. So what some of the lower vibrational emotions of like guilt, shame, fear, all these things are very low vibrational things. And you notice that people who live from here, they're not the happiest people, right? They're typically heavier, energetic people, and probably like most people, to be honest. But as you start being conscious of these things, even anger, getting up to anger, getting up to acceptance, getting up to love is one of the higher vibrational. You ever meet somebody and you're like, this guy's vibing high, this guy, something about him, when I'm around him, like I feel good, how does he do it? And it's just like a state of consciousness. It's like a being, it's like amount of work you do on yourself eventually, not from like an egocentric point, but like somebody who works on themselves to like evolve. They can't help but like want to evolve other people, and that's usually done subconsciously, like through being like a loving person. So the more you look into this stuff, the more interesting it is, because you start looking at things through like a different paradigm that you didn't before. So if this is your first time hearing about this, or even a paradigm in the first place, really, really interesting, because it kind of like collapse your world, like how, even me sometimes, like how narrow-minded am I being right now, just opens you up a little bit. So that's the concept of letting go. Guys, like, there's a lot of things we hold on to, right? There's a lot of grief, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of suffering, a lot of these things that we're gonna hang on to. But the more that you can practice accepting, letting go, the more you're gonna increase your stage of the vibrational scale, and ultimately the more goodness you're going to start attracting. Because if you believe in the law of attraction, which if you don't by now, it's like, you do bad things are going to happen. You do good things are going to happen. The more good you can put out there, the more good you can instill in the world. It's only a matter of time before that good comes back to you, and vice versa. The more bad you're putting out there, it's going to come back one way or the other. So that's the concept of letting go, guys. Hope this was insightful for you. I hope you read the book. There's no downside to reading that book. You're just going to become more enlightened. If you're not ready for that, all the power to you. But if you are, stepping into the unknown, props to you. With that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate you watching this. If you have any insight, if you've read the book, if you know the concept of letting go, if you're having trouble letting go, let me know in the comments below. See you in the next video. Peace.